Shalom, family. Good to see you all here. I hope you're doing well. I I had to do a double take when I saw this story. So these two guys from Texas thought they were going to sail on over to Haiti and take over the island, unalive the men, and enslave the women and children. I guess they never met Haitian women. I guess they never met Haitian women before because they're not quite that easy. But let me tell you something. These dudes, I don't know what it is, but let me just say this white people, the time of colonizing is over. You just had that one shot that the Most High allowed you to have. It is over. You can't colonize nothing anymore. Just like it went wrong for these guys, it's going to continue to go wrong. Colonizing, that's the thing of the past. You know what this reminds me of? Do y'all remember when that Christian called himself trying to go to the Sentinel Islands to dominate those folks with Christianity, and they ended up unaliving his behind and burying him in the sand? That's what it reminds me of. Y'all need to accept the fact that colonizing is a done deal. And you see what happened when Donald Trump was talking about taking Greenland and Canada. You saw how those countries were coming back at him. Canada staged an entire boycott of all American products. You think they're going to just let you walk in there and take over everything? Nobody's going to do that. That's going to cost you. You know, read the Bible. The Bible tells you the truth about taking over someone's land. You curse your generations. Y'all are part of that cursed generation. There is no more colonizing on this planet for you. Okay, the only thing awaiting you is judgment. That's about it. Colonizing, nah. So, we're going to talk about these two dummies. I don't know. First of all, y'all, I don't believe they would have got past the Haitian gangs. You see what weaponry those gangs are walking around with? I sure know. I've seen them. Okay. They got all kinds of weapons that they're walking around with on that island right now. What, y'all believe Haitians are not armed? Of course they are. They're in Haiti. Of course they are. So let's talk about these two dummies right here. So this story came out actually on Saturday. It came out on Saturday. And the one with the longer hair, his name is Gavin Weissenberg. And you know what? The news described these two people as white. I thought, you use always say you're not white, but they sure described him as white. And the shorter hair guy is Tanner Thomas. So Weissenberg is 21 years old. Tanner is 20. They were charged with conspiracy to murder, maim, and kidnap a foreign country, as well as the production of child porn, according to a memo released by the Justice Department. Two white guys thought they were going to conquer a whole island full of people. You know what it is, y'all. They think that island and black people are easy to conquer. Haitians would be easy to conquer because they see them as poor, they see them as helpless, and they'll be able just to go in there and take it over. But you better go and look at the Haitian Revolution. You think they weren't poor on that island before? They were, and they still whipped the French's ass. Okay. All right. So, what makes you think the two of you would walk up there and not get your asses handed to you? In fact, I would doubt if the two of you would ever be seen again once those folks get done with you. So, this whoever plotted this, these two are definitely, I guess, among the high IQ, they must be on the low end of the gene pool. So, a federal grand jury indicted two Texas men over an alleged year-long plot to travel to a remote Haitian island, unalive the male population. Now, how you gonna do that with two white men? See, they tried to recruit other people, and I don't think that worked out too well, y'all. So y'all gonna unalive every male on the island? That sounds like a bunch of fantasy crap. Again, you would never be able to pull that off because the time of colonizing is over. Those times are over. So, Gavin Rivers Weissenberg, 21, and Tanner Christopher Thomas, 20, were charged with, by the Justice Department by a grand jury. And they said the men allegedly intended to purchase a boat, sail to the island, unalive every man, overthrow the local government, and force the women and children into slavery. Now that sounds like some degenerate crap right there. Okay, that sounds like some degenerate crap. So the unsealed indictment prosecutors alleged the two men took Haitian Creole classes in July of 2024 to May of 2025 to prepare for their trip. They enrolled in the North Texas Fire Academy, and Thomas, he joined the US Air Force, attempted to recruit men to join them on their plot online and in person between August 2024 and May of 2025. So they went around to homeless men out on the street to try to recruit them to join them to overthrow Haiti. Wow. And they were looking for these men in the Washington, D.C. area. So the two are accused of coercing a minor to perform acts on camera in August of 2024. Weissenberg was arrested in July of 2025. It remains unclear when Thomas was taken into custody. So, wow. So, in a statement to local affiliate Fox 4 in Dallas, Weissenberg's attorney labeled the indictment as a mere allegation. No, it wasn't. If they planned this thing out for a whole year, it ain't no mere allegation. They had real plans to go and carry this thing out. You don't jail somebody and it's just some rumor. No, you jail them because they had real plans to do this. So their attorney, Thomas's attorney, will enter a plea of not guilty in court. If convicted of conspiracy to commit murder in a foreign country, both men will face up to life in federal prison. They face anywhere from 15 to 30 years if convicted alone on the child corn charges. Wow. Mm. So we're going to look at a few videos. I don't know what the hell they were thinking. Seriously, I don't know what they were thinking. Okay. Give me a one if you can see my screen. Yeah, they're not very big looking men at all, you know? And I don't know. How do you conquer a whole island full of men? They got to be on some fantasy crap. For real. Like I said, I don't think they would have gotten past the gangs. They wouldn't have got past them that are on that island. They wouldn't have got past them. Thank you, everybody.
I have got the wildest story to tell you about that's coming out of Texas, but does have to do with DC. The two dudes you see behind me, Gavin Weisenberg and Tanner Thomas, have been accused of trying to overthrow a Caribbean government and then murder the men, then take all the women and children as their sex slaves. Stick with me here. So it is said that Tanner was the one who tried to go to the U.S. Air Force and actually enlisted so that he could get the military skills needed to overthrow the government. He was initially stationed overseas, but decided to transfer back to the U.S. so he could be closer to home base for this alleged plot. Now, Gavin, on the other hand, wanted to go to the fire academy to try and get some more logistical skills with this. He flunked out within 6 months. He also tried to go over to Thailand and learn how to sail, but that wasn't super duper effective either. It just cost him too much money. But here was the overall plot that federal prosecutors said they wanted to execute. They learned Haitian Creole because they wanted to essentially have a coup d'etat of that Haitian island. And then what they would do would be to murder all the men and to take the women and children as their sex slaves and fulfill what the prosecutors are calling rape fantasies. Now, how did two people plan to do this and overthrow a government of an island of 80 to 100,000 people? Well, they plan to essentially recruit the homeless here in DC to be mercenaries. Now, if that didn't make you kind of feel a little uneasy, there's another charge that they were indicted on, which is about making child sexual abuse material sometime in this year that they were planning. Now, if they are convicted, they could spend up to life in a federal prison.
Bonjour tout le monde, bonjour tout le monde, bonjour tout le monde. Gen yon parole m'kap de la. Two white men from Texas who plotted to go to Haiti, to Lagonave, to take over Lagonave Island in Haiti. Two white men from Texas were plotting to recruit homeless people in Texas to go to Lagonave to commandeer the island of Lagonave in Haiti.
A federal grand jury indicted two North Texas men accused of plotting to invade a foreign island, kill the men, and take the women as sex slaves.
Prosecutors say one of the men enlisted in the Air Force to get military training he thought he needed.
Say they plan to recruit people who are homeless in Washington, D.C. to serve on their, quote, expeditionary force and take over a small Haitian island. The grand jury indictment handed.
Give me a minute.
What I would say to you people is you will be fucked up if you try to go to Haiti and commandeer people. Thinking you could kill the men and make the women sex slaves is absolutely insane. You would have found out very quickly who our ancestors were, and you would have been taken out of the people. Why? There needs to be a study of why white men think that they are all Christopher Columbus and that they can colonize. In 2025, you think you're going to go to the island of Haiti and be what? Welcome with open arms? You think we're going to say, bienvenue, no. No. Guys, at some point, we got to do better in this world. We just got to do better because two white men from Texas, I want to reiterate, two white men from Texas were planning to go to Haiti. Back on it.
Have the confidence of a mediocre white man, and I swear your life will be so much better. These two fuckfaces, two, from North Texas, thought that they can go to Haiti, the mother of revolution in the Caribbean and beyond, Haiti, where one of the greatest, if not the greatest slave rebellion in the history of humanity happened. These two idiots thought that they can go to an island off the coast of Haiti, belonging to Haiti, populated by 87,000 Haitians, and they could take over the island, all the men, and enslave the women and children. These two fucking idiots. Now they were arrested, and I swear to you, their arrest is what literally saved their lives, because they really thought that they were going to go into Haiti and the Haitians were going to let them do whatever they wanted. My God, they would have worn your skin. They would have skinned you and worn your skin for fun. So I implore you, please have the confidence of mediocre white men, because if they can believe that they can take over an island populated by the descendants of the greatest slave revolution in the history of humanity, you can do anything too.
Correct me if I'm confused, but wasn't Haiti the first island to gain freedom? Why am I seeing that 2 men from Texas plan to invade Haiti? 2 white men from Texas plan to invade Haiti. I believe they wanted to invade Gonave Island. I might be mispronouncing that. But their plan was to get homeless people from Washington, D.C., get on a sailboat. I'm trying to keep a straight face while I'm telling. This is real. Get on a sailboat, get to Haiti, go to Gonave Island, get rid of all the men, and enslave the women. Now, they've been arrested, and I'm sitting here like, am I the only one that remember Haiti's history when I had to learn it? I'm really trying to tell this with a straight face, and it's not working. So as I was saying, yeah, they had this plan, sailboat, all of that to get to Haiti, but they even studied Creole. They even studied Creole, but they never checked the history to see how Haiti was moving back in history. At this point, I think I've seen it all. Oh, they also got caught with CP.
2 white men from Texas plotted to invade and conquer a Haitian island with a plan to recruit homeless people for their militia and use their U.S. military training to kill the island's men and then enslave the women and children. So federal prosecutors announced the indictment of Gavin Rivers, 21, and Tanner Christopher Thomas, 20 years old, on charges of conspiracy to murder, maim, and kidnap in a foreign country. So according to the indictment, their preparations included researching weapons and ammunition, planning to buy military-style rifles, and even attempting to learn the Haitian Creole language. One of them, Tanner Thomas, allegedly joined the U.S. Air Force, specifically to acquire combat training for the planned invasion. Now, they plotted this for over a year, and their plans included plans to buy a sailboat and recruit homeless people to help. And the indictment says that Thomas even changed his Air Force assignment to a base in Maryland to try and recruit homeless people in D.C. for this invasion. Now, both men were also charged with production of child abuse material for allegedly persuading a minor to engage in explicit conduct. Their attorneys have stated they will plead not guilty to all charges. Now, if convicted, they both face a potential life sentence for the conspiracy charge and up to 30 years in prison for the child abuse material charge.
I wish y'all two would pull up to IET on that type of time and see what's gonna happen to you. I wish you would have done this nonsense on any part of Haiti. I really wish they would have done that, because 250 years of frustration would have been taken upon the both of you. I promise you that. Y'all would have been turned every which way loose, baby. Oh my God, y'all should have let him come to Haiti. Y'all should have let him come and try that BS. Y'all should have let him come and try that BS, bro.
They tried to raise an army and invade an island. Yeah. 2 Texas men have just been arrested for planning to invade a Haiti island, wipe out all the men, and enslave the women for stuff that I can't even say on here. But this wasn't just something they spoke about on a Discord chat. They were actively planning to carry this out. They even tried to recruit homeless people in Washington for their army. You see, over the past year, 20 and 21-year-old Gavin and Tanner enrolled for the military and firearm training. They planned to learn how to sail. They took classes in the local language of the island that they were trying to invade. And they even intended to purchase an arsenal of weapons and ammunition. Now, thankfully, they didn't get too far in that training because they either dropped out or failed. But that's not even the craziest part, because they tried to take over the island of Gonave, which has 87,000 people. That's why court documents reveal that the pair intended to recruit more people online, as well as homeless men in Washington for this army, which they then intended to all sail over together on a boat to this island for a surprise attack. But not only were there 13 months of planning this thing discovered by authorities, but they now face a maximum of life in prison. They've been indicted on a long list of charges, including conspiracy to murder, mayhem, or kidnap persons in a foreign country. And on top of that, the 2 men were also accused of the production of child you-know-what. So yeah, they are cooked.
2 North Texas men, 21-year-old Gavin Weisenberg of Allen and 20-year-old Tanner Thomas of Argyle, now charged with what investigators call a chilling plot to launch a violent coup of Gonave Island off the coast of the Haitian mainland. Federal prosecutors allege the pair planned to murder the men living on the island and seize control, turning surviving women and children into sex slaves. 87,000 people live on the island. The document details months of planning, recruiting, weapons research, even an attempt to buy a sailboat to reach their target. Both have been charged with conspiracy to murder, maim, or kidnap in a foreign country.
A conspiracy charge involves an agreement by two or more people to commit a crime, and there has to be an overt act, at least one, to further the crime.
The feds allege both men took extraordinary steps between August 2024 and July 2025 to effectuate their mission, like studying the Haitian Creole language. In August of 2024, Weisenberg enrolled in the North Texas Fire Academy in Rockwall, according to the indictment, to receive special training to use in the coup attempt, but failed out in February. Nobody was at the academy when we stopped by Friday afternoon for comment.
There's definitely evidence, apparently emails or other postings, that demonstrate they were out. At least they voiced that they were going to do this and they were going to recruit people to help them.
The charging documents also reveal how Thomas enlisted in the U.S. Air Force in January of 2025 for the purpose of obtaining military training that would be useful during the planned attack. Lawyers representing both of the accused released statements to Fox 4.
Basically, this was when colonizing goes wrong. You think you're going to colonize? This ain't the 1814, 1500s, motherfucker. This ain't happening anymore. This is exactly how Africa was taken over. You know, you had some white motherfuckers came in, all nice, trying to speak the language, chilling, eating, and all of a sudden they raping the women, killing the men off, and all of a sudden slavery happens. And that's, yeah. So these two white dudes, like Gavin Weisenberg, Tanner Thomas, had a plot to take over a Haitian island.
Prosecutors say Weisenberg and Thomas planned to invade the island by sailboat, heavily armed, using homeless people they would enlist from Washington, D.C. to murder the men on the island, take control of the territory, and then turn the women into sex slaves.
A Haitian island, about 87,000 people, they were plotting since 2024 to take on, to colonize and take over this Haitian island. Both of them took Haitian Creole classes. They went to one went to the U.S. Navy, joined the Air Force or whatever to learn how to sail a boat. They failed doing that, so they were just studying weaponry, all kinds of shit. And their plan was, get this, guys, to kill off the men and keep the women as slaves and the children and sex traffic them and all this other shit. You know, they've been arrested. Thank God they were arrested, and they might go to jail for life. We hope so. I hope they go to jail, to hell for life too. So the fact that they even have lawyers that are going, that one of them wants to plead not guilty. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Anyway, so my thing is like white guys wanting to get rid of black men and enslave and black women is what's so surprising. I think that most white men want to do that in general. Now, I said this on purpose because I know people, a lot of times, some of you all in these interracial relationships, y'all get so goddamn sensitive. You act like this isn't facts, okay? There are some people that will be in an interracial relationship and hate the race that they're dating. Honestly, there are white dudes that have black girlfriends that hate black men. And there are white women that have black boyfriends and black husbands that hate black women. This is a fact. It's all facts, okay? So this is some. I didn't say all, but I say majority. And then these two are an example of what the fuck it is. You want to go and kill all the men and enslave all the women. Real fantasy, creepy. You know, that's that black fantasy shit that a lot of white people have. You know, we be running rent-free in their heads, all that homoerotic. You know, I mean, you guys ate us. There's a book called Delectable Negro. You can read it. You ate us. You smoked us. You pickled us. You cut off our penises, put them in jars. This is what white folks did. And you had Africans being cannibals, which is untrue. So these two dudes, I hope they rot in hell, them, and all that other shit. Thank God that shit didn't work. When colonizing goes bad.
All right, racists. Now imagine that type of foolishness going up against 85,000 solid, strong, melanated chosen men from Haiti. Two delusional white guys from Texas learned a $500 million lesson that may cost them their life anyway, because they surely wouldn't have survived Haiti. The fake stories of colonization and slavery or white male brutality, that's the reason for his delusion. White men truly believe that they have the strength to violently overthrow Black Americans, let alone Haitian men. That's the danger of lying to them about history. No matter how physically weak and disadvantaged they are, they will run face first into danger trying to prove themselves, holding the record for the world's softest hit. And under the assumption that you can handle these people, it's abundantly clear that racists have no idea who the Haitian people are. We're talking about descendants of warriors who did the impossible. While the rest of the world bowed to Europe, Haitian ancestors took Napoleon's army, the most powerful military force on the planet at the time, and handed it one of the most catastrophic belt-to-ass moments in colonial history. Not only did they win their freedom, they shattered the entire concept of inferiority with machetes and divine power. It was a reminder of who actually runs the planet. It was a reminder of who owns the land. So for these two male cheerleaders to think that they can just show up with their little pew-pews and pom-poms and their homeless army is the biggest joke of the century. White men keep writing these fan fictions where they're the heroes, but the reality is their history is a library of failed invasions and humiliating retreats. They are weak, where Haitians are very strong. Haiti has been burying white people for centuries, and these two were going to be no different. And now they get to spend the rest of their lives in prison, becoming another footnote in the long, proud history of white men thinking they were tough, until they met the real man. The melanated man.
Can you imagine two 21-year-old Texans were planning to invade a small island which belongs to Haiti, subjugate the women, and enslave them? They were going to use homeless people from America, some weird boats, and guns to subjugate the whole island and enslave the women. This right here is the result of many embracing colonial ideology, yeah, and also white nationalist ideology. It's becoming a norm. People are embracing this. You've got people in politics excusing stuff like this, racism. Oh, they're just joking. Is this a joke? They were gonna enslave the women and use them for, I can't say on TikTok, but you can guess what they were gonna use them for. All because they're being told to be proud of the colonial era, to be proud of their supremacy. It's crazy, bro. You think it's just these two? There's plenty of other people with the same mentality in that nation. It's crazy, bro. And why target Haiti specifically? Obviously, because of the history of Haiti. Haiti defeated the colonial power. They abolished slavery. They became independent. One of the first independent Black nations on earth. And they want to go there, subjugate the people and say, we're bringing back slavery and stuff like that. It's crazy. But you think them Haitians would sit down and let you do that? Don't underestimate my brethren in Haiti, okay? Anyway, the feds got them. They've been arrested. It's all good. But this is becoming a norm. People with this mentality becoming a norm. They spent over a year planning this. Absolutely insane, isn't it? Hey, God have mercy. God have mercy.
These two dudes who decided they were going to unalive an entire island of men and make the women and children schmegs slaves. These two white dudes, don't ever let anyone convince you that men are just lazy. They are lazy when it comes to adding, value to the community, to family, to women's lives and stuff like that, unless they've been doing a lot of work on themselves and unpacking that entitlement and selfishness that patriarchy taught them. But when they are determined to do harm, oh boy, are they not lazy. Look at what all these look at what these dudes did. This is coming off the U.S. government website, mind. And these guys are Gavin and Tanner, like, oh my God, Gavin, who's 21, and Tanner, who's 20, had the mindset of who? Christopher Columbus. They are fulfilling their ancestors' dreams, okay? That's what they're doing. If you don't know what I'm talking about, read this book, People's History of the United States. And this will make a lot of sense, because this is a part of white history in the US, especially. These two dudes trained for nearly a year. They were very disciplined in their hate. I want to tell you, people like women are like, oh my God, my boyfriend can't figure out my birthday present. He can't remember this. Have you seen what they do when they get into climbing? They remember every single move on a climbing route. They remember the names of every route. They know everything about gear. They know everything at the set list of every Widespread Panic concert they've ever been to. They know at the Roxy in '96 or whatever. They know the stats of their their favorite football player. When they are passionate about something and really care, boy, are they not lazy. So these guys took Haitian Creole class for nearly a year to prepare to enslave women and children into becoming slaves. After unalive, do you know how many people are on this island? About 87,000. Possibly up to 100,000. This is a very hard island to get to, apparently. Listen to this extensive plan. And also, I'm going to tag one of my mutuals. She's been going through this book. I rebought this book. I read this in college, and it changed my life. It changed my relationship to my country, to my ancestors, to myself, because I had to know the history, the real history of my country. And why we are where we are. And boy, does it all make sense. So I'm going to tag her, go follow her. And she's going through this book, and I love it. I've learned so much. This is literally like, it's not that this is just white men in America doing what the first people who came here were doing. The ones who, did the genocide and the chattel slavery and all that stuff. This is just that. This is more of that. So this is not shocking. Until we deal with our history, white people's history, we will continue to live out this nightmare. Okay, what they have been indicted with is conspiracy to kidnap in a foreign country and production of child corn. Because of corn. Their extensive plan was to travel to Gonaïves Island. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I believe that's how you'd say it. Gonaïves in French, but I don't know, whatever. Sorry, never heard of this island, and I'm in the middle of this video. I'm sorry, I'm not looking it up while I'm speaking. Is part of the Republic of Haiti, as if Haiti has not been through enough. My God, of all places. Anyway, in attempting a coup d'etat, they prepared from August 2024 to July 2025. Okay, 11 months. These guys were disciplined in this month. Look at all they did. They had planned to buy a boat and sail to the island, unalive every man on the island, overtake it by force, and take women and children as slaves. Now, just this, the Epstein stuff should not be shocking to us. This is a part of our history. Okay? That's what was happening in the South to the women and children and men that were enslaved. All right? This is what's been happening. This isn't new. This is our history. And this is exactly why they're banning books. They don't want us to know our history. They definitely don't want us reading this book or any of the many books that describe how we got here. But we're not breaking out of this cycle of violence until we look at the past and deal with it. So they enrolled in Creole classes, Haitian Creole classes, to prepare for the coup. They enrolled, or Gavin enrolled at North Texas Fire Academy in Rockwell. This was allegedly an effort to gain training and useful skills for their plot. The other dude, Tanner, enlisted in U.S. Air Force. The document says he intended to use the military training for the planned overthrow of the island. Well, if that isn't just too on the nose, going into the military to do what our military's been doing, it's just this guy decided to do it alone. Well, kind of, actually, no, not alone, but just not with the military. He wants his own little cult, these two guys, I guess. And they were look at this, hold on. Homeless people. They wanted to recruit, and this is like, it hits like every single thing. Like the colonizer mind, every single thing. And like, oh my God. Every problem in the US, these guys are kind of the perfect picture of that. Gavin failed out of fire training. The loser he failed out of fire training. Did I wake you up? Sorry. He's such an entitled looking baby. So Gavin bought tickets to Thailand, at least partially to enroll in a sailing course to prepare for getting to the island. The indictment says once he got to Thailand, look at this, he never enrolled due to the cost of the course. So, of course, this white guy goes to Thailand, and then I'm surprised he didn't do some harm over there. He probably did. And then he's like, he didn't even look up the price? God, these guys are like evil and dumb. Ugh. Tanner managed to change his Air Force assignment from a base in Germany to one in Maryland. The indictment says this was both to stay in the U.S., to continue planning their little coup, and to attempt to recruit homeless people from the Washington, D.C. area. Like, this is such an insane story, and it's comically awful. Do you know what I mean? I have a warped sense of humor. I laugh. I'm not like, this is so disturbing, but it's so crazy. They're also accused of coercing. Oh, here we go. A minor to engage in sex on camera. Okay, so they're already doing the child's stuff. They can face up to life in prison if they're convicted of the conspiracy to murder. And they face 15 to 30 years in prison of the child stuff. When I first saw this, I was like, that right there. And this one right here. And they say white people aren't in touch with their culture. Oh, that's such a good joke. Because this is our culture. In the US, this is white culture. This is it. This is it. That's not all it is, but this is what it is. Watch Sinners, please. If you don't know what I'm talking about, please read this book if you want to understand. There's also a book called How the Irish Became White. Okay. There's so many books that explain why so many crazy folks come from our country. Like, we're not just like the only crazy people. But things are pretty extreme in the U.S. There's a lot of cults. There's a lot of serial unalivers. There's a lot of extremism. But it all is because of our history. Our history tells it all. And this one right here, when you have a civil war over slavery and win, but let the traitors get their way during Reconstruction and let them spend the next 150 years undermining every steps towards progress and away from oppression, this is the result. So when I hear someone like Scott Galloway, who I will never shut up about, go on every news site possible and say that men are having a hard time, they're lonely. We really need to invest more in men because God knows they don't have enough privilege. And women need to marry these men so they're not violent. Fork off. Because Scott, like so many people, will not deal with that white male entitlement that comes with patriarchy. He'll do anything. He'll talk around everything. And he, like so many, will not deal with the core issue, is that brainwashing under patriarchy, that they own the world, they deserve the world, and they should be able to do whatever they want to get it. Anyway, God! And follow my Patreon if you want more stuff.
So the two guys from Texas trying to go to Haiti, or have plans to go to Haiti to take it over, and unalive all the males and kidnap all the females and enslave the children for sex. Not the same Haiti. It can't be the same Haiti because I know. Get mine. I know not the same. Not the same Haiti because my people, not my people, boy. You would have went in there and come out with your tail between your legs, man. Because net. Hey, bringing the Haitian dialect out of me because Kakavoye net. Kakavoye. What? Villa. Balmoto macaque. Hey. Balbatu sell. Hey. You know about Haitian when it came out with crazy fucking thoughts.
Two white Texas men have been arrested for guess the flip what? They recruited. They went on a recruiting mission. They recruited others as well, but they planned on going to the Haitian island of Gonave, taking out all the men of that small island, and then using the women and children as their ex-slaves. They had it all planned out. They already had, y'all, the details are right here. They went and learned Haitian Creole. One of them joined in the military so he could learn these tactical skills and stuff to take out the men of the island. They were on a whole mission. They'd already started the process to go and take over the island and harm innocent people for their weird Christopher Columbus style dreams and fantasies. So now they're booked. Okay. I hope they go get all the other recruits. Okay. Because just getting them is not going to work. Got to get all the other, because the other ones have all that stuff on their minds too. What is it with certain people going to other places and trying to take over and basically take out all the people of that place? What is this? What? Yeah, so this is what the island basically is. This is the size of the island. It's about approximately 300 square miles. 300 square miles. Okay? And it's looking like there's about 100,000 is what I looked up on the island. I'm not quite sure what the flip was going. I guess they were going to go on there and pretend to be friends and all because you know how a lot of them already think that, white people are always going to be welcome, way more welcome to certain places. That's what they think, y'all. And so they were going to go in there speaking Haitian Creole, and everybody's going to be all like impressed that they came from Texas speaking Haitian Creole. You know what I'm saying? And woo, they know my language and all this other kind of stuff. And then they were going to throw a wrench in everybody's life and just take them all out. What the flip? What was I know their thought. What was the end game? The end game. Okay, so today's time is not like Christopher Columbus time, okay? They was gonna see y'all doing it. Like, people were gonna see y'all doing it. It was gonna get out. The flip. So, racially black people all around the globe, y'all better be on high alert. Racially black people all around the globe, y'all better be on some high freaking alert because some people got plans, okay? Everybody that smiles in your face is not your friend, okay? It's just simply not, all right? What on earth?
You ever heard something so wildly offensive you were like, this can't be real? Okay, I got a story on some YCs, young colonizers. Tanner Thomas and Gavin Weisenberg out of North Texas decided that they was going to go ahead and colonize an island off of Haiti. They're planning a coup where they were doing military training in the Air Force and also at a firefighter academy, which they both could not complete. And the goal was to go ahead and take over this island, enslave the people of Haitian descent, and also do some weird sex fantasy stuff. It's gross. It's disgusting. I don't want to get into it. Read the articles if you need to know about it. But these were very, very, very sick, delusional men who thought they were going to take a sailboat, put a bunch of armed weaponry on a sailboat, go to this island off Haiti, enslave the people, recruiting homeless people from Washington, D.C. to be part of their militia to take this over so they could somehow play out some weird, extremely delusional fantasy that they had. This is the problem when colonization meets the internet. People just it doesn't even make sense anymore. So I share this story to say, in all realness, Haiti is not a place to be exploited and colonized, even though to this very day they're going through extremely serious issues. But that's what the world does. The world looks for exploitation in weak places, even though these are two individual men that are not working in a large scale. But if this was a corporation, this was a government, that's how these things happen at much higher levels. So it's important to remember that when we look at what's going on in modern day with colonization, people have these fantasies that they play out. And this is a small, minute level, but on large scale, it happens to governments and corporations all the time. And once more, Haiti is a place to be respected. It's a place to be invested. It's a place to honor and cherish their history and build with our brothers over there, not take, not put down, and not exploit.
They are the 2025 Beavis and Butthead. So Beavis and Butthead thought they were going to go to this small island off of the coast of Haiti that has 80,000 people, and they were going to unalive all the men on the island and use the women and children as sex slaves.
You a stupid hoe. You a stupid hoe. You a stupid hoe. Yeah, you a stupid hoe.
Like, do people not know the history of Haiti? Like, I mean, like, do y'all not know the history of the Caribbean? Okay, the bad slaves were sent to the Caribbean. Okay, so don't fuck with Caribbean people. Okay, especially those Haitians and the Jamaicans. Okay, the bad slaves. Okay, who had the worst behavior. Okay, were sent to the Caribbean. Okay. That's all I really have to say. Why Haiti? Why Haiti? Y'all should have done that shit in America. The plan probably would have worked better in America. Haiti? And then they said that they were going to recruit homeless people. They were going to get homeless people in D.C. So they live in Texas, but they're going to go to D.C. to get homeless people to help them. Homeless? What the hell? Homeless people don't homeless people. What the? This, like, when I saw this story, I thought it was fake, but it's not. Like, it's a real fucking story. Like, people are so fucking stupid, bro. Like, what in the world? And then, like, one of the guys, he enlisted in the Marines so he could get training just to go to Haiti to unalive the men and use the women as sex slaves. What the fuck?
These are the North Texas men federal prosecutors say were planning to travel to an island in Haiti to kill the men and turn the women into sex slaves. According to a federal indictment, 21-year-old Gavin Weisenberg from Allen and 20-year-old Tanner Thomas from Argyle had been plotting to invade Gonave Island with a population of 87,000, which is part of Haiti. Prosecutors say Weisenberg and Thomas planned to invade the island by sailboat, heavily armed, using homeless people they would enlist from Washington, D.C. to murder the men on the island, take control of the territory, and then turn the women into sex slaves. Prosecutors say Thomas prepared for the attack by enlisting in the Air Force for military training, and Weisenberg enrolled in a fire training academy but later flunked out. Both men are accused of manufacturing child pornography by manipulating and exploiting a juvenile. But in a statement to Fox 4 News, the attorney for Gavin Weisenberg said, "I encourage everyone to hold their horses and stay tuned. An indictment is simply an allegation. And while there is some truth to the allegations, I believe that it will become clear what actually did not, and could not have happened." If your initial response to the government's press release was, "That sounds crazy, impossible, and absurd," you might be onto something.
I've seen a lot, but I've never seen anything like this before on U.S. soil.
2 white American men have been arrested because they were allegedly planning on taking over part of Haiti. These 2 men were planning on unaliving all the men in the island and enslaving the women and the children to sell them into trade. Now, these 2 disturbing men are from Texas. One of them is 20-year-old Tanner Christopher Thomas, who had just recently enlisted in the United States Air Force to quote, gain combat training so he knew how to battle off the men when they tried to take over the island. And the other was 21-year-old Gavin Rivers Weisenberg, and he enrolled in the Fire Academy, but don't worry, he failed out. Now, these 2 men made a plan to invade an island outside of Haiti called Gonave, and Gonave consists of 87,000 people. And somehow, these 2 men were going to take over this island. I forgot to mention that these 2 men were also taking sailing lessons because they were going to sail a boat to this island. Anyways, the FBI, the Air Force, and many government agencies are now involved. These men are being charged with conspiracy to commit murder, kidnapping, and child exploitation charges. And according to many news outlets, if they're convicted, they are facing life in prison. And right now, both men are pleading not guilty to these charges. However, the evidence that the government has gathered is intense. But anyways, fun fact, Haiti gained its independence from France on the 1st of January in 1804, making it the first country to abolish slavery, and it became the first Black republic in the world. And these two white Americans thought they had a chance because they took a little bit of military training at Air Force out of all the branches and sailing lessons. Let me know what you think in the comments below.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, look like their fantasy has died. It has died. You know what y'all should do? Y'all need to put them right next to Haitian inmates that are in the prison. Put them right next to the Haitian inmates. In fact, let the Haitian inmates in their cell. That's it. They'll take care of the rest. Boy, I tell you what, y'all. Part of me wish they would have made it there because they would never have made it back to America ever. Ever. I said, "You know what? See, their head done got swollen, being raised in America and, the white man is top dog and all that stuff. But see, when you get in the real world, you ain't gonna be able to hang on to that. Y'all can't hang on to it now. You're not even reproducing. You're not hanging on to that. That's why Donald Trump got to do these DEI fires and throw stuff out of a museum just to make y'all feel better about who you are. That's pretty pathetic. It's pretty sad. And it just goes to show you're not as confident as you claim to be. You're really not. You sound like some diaper wearing, butt sore, low self-esteem dudes walking around trying to make everybody believe you're a lot tougher than what you really are. So, Nicolette, thank you so much for the super chat. I hope Haitians see this as a sign Haiti is up for grabs. No, I think Haiti will be fine. I really do. Don't underestimate those folks. They are going to be fine. They're going to be fine over in Haiti. I don't think they would have been able to do even a fraction of what they planned out. And really, at this point, keeping them behind bars is probably what is keeping them alive at this point. So, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. I will see you on my next live, which will be coming up at, I think, I'm going to push it back an hour to 4:45. Our sister in Tulsa that was fighting for reparations, Viola Fletcher, they used to call her Mother Fletcher. She has passed at the age of 111. So we're going to talk about her and just overall Tulsa and everything and her fight to try to get restitution for something she actually lived through. So, y'all, I will see you then. Shalom, family.